All right, we are going to read a new chapter of Heterogeneous Linguistics. If you don't know about the series, it's fairly new. I think there's maybe 2 volumes out in Japan, and the scanlations have just gotten to chapter 10, still in the first volume. It kind of reminds me of Dungeon Meshi in a lot of ways. So if you're a Dungeon Meshi fan, I really suggest checking this one out. It has the same very analytical, thoughtful look at what the real world ramifications of kind of fantasy world creatures would be. But whereas Dungeon Meshi kind of looks at unintelligent creatures for the most part and how to cook and eat them, here we're looking at other intelligent species and how they communicate. It's all about communication. Isn't that cool? So it's about this linguistics student who's following the footsteps of his professor, taking his notebook and heading into the unhuman world. He first meets with some like wolf people, some beast people. The daughter of the beast people's tribe, this young girl, goes along with him, acting as kind of an unreliable guide. He also picks up a little pet slime, which helps him out in other occasions. But for the most part, he's quite clueless. But the way that they came up with these fantasy languages is extremely interesting to me, in that it's alien enough. Usually when you kind of have fantasy languages, it's just like another human language, but with like, different words and different characters and stuff, which, okay, that's fine. It's still impressive that you came up with your own language, but here they make it appropriately alien. And they kind of think about how these animals would actually communicate if they wanted to relay a sophisticated message. So it's a lot about smells and movements and gestures and things like that. It's really compelling, and they get into a lot of like their culture too, kind of their cultural practices, how they travel, how they set up camp, what they eat, how they treat each other. And again, it's like a really good level of, this is very different than anything we know in humanity, but it makes sense. It's internally consistent, and it seems like it could be sophisticated enough and complete enough to have the level of culture that they display. So yeah, I'm really impressed with the series. Nice art too. In this chapter, okay, so he had just met a dragon, and as soon as he meets the dragon, he's also informed that he had just eaten the dragon's parent. That earlier in the previous chapter, he was eating some really tasty meat. He was wondering what it was. Turns out it was dragon. And the mother or father of this dragon. Dragons are also called big jaws. So we're going to learn a little cultural lesson of why this dragon seems so ambivalent towards the fact that this human just ate their parents. Oh, and this is cool too. The way they do uncertainty in his understanding is they just have certain words like blacked out in the speech bubbles. So the dragon and the blizzard men speak quite similarly. He's able to understand the dragon quite a bit. My parent was something to have died something the summer. Me revealing from this dragon's parent. Awkward. But it seems like they don't care. I've read accounts from the past about this. They lack any civilization or culture. They're cruel and heartless without any care for the dead. Their friend or foe, they're eaten when they die. Such is the way of these ruthless animals. So it seems like certain aspects of this are actually based on reality. This indifference to being eaten after they die is perhaps something true, but was interpreted by humans to be completely different than how these races interpreted it. That for them it's not cruel or heartless to eat your dead friend. Perhaps it's even compassionate. Can't trust. Ooh, so this is a bit of lore here. Can't trust accounts written by enemies during wartime. So it seems like sometime in the past, humans and these various fantasy races were at war with each other. Maybe that was mentioned before. I don't know. I don't remember them mentioning that before, at least. Means that they were partially right. Yeah. Underground cave. Once they get too big, they come here. So there's another big dragon. That's a cool looking dragon. And with evidence from both this series and Dungeon Meshi, I can say a tasty looking dragon too. Oh, so this is its other parent. Ooh, there's a slime. So maybe the slime that he has can communicate with this one or something. Dragon burps and roars at him. It has considerably low voice, like vibrations I can barely hear. I like too that sometimes when the human speaks, they write his dialogue with like accents, kind of, you know, what did it say? It's clear that he can't quite make the sounds of the lizard people. Everyone else has a hard time hearing it too. Interesting. Oh, the thing you use with others. Yes, this thing came up before. I love too that he's like forced to repeat the strange descriptions that he's given for things. Well, not strange to him, but actually perfectly normal for the people describing it. Like with such normalcy that they forget that it doesn't actually describe anything. So yes, the thing that you use with others. Ooh, the dragon is using the slime to communicate. That's why the slime is around. Serving as an interpreter. Yes, that's true. He's tried in the past to get the slime to listen and translate for him. Whereas, like, the slime will answer questions, but it won't do that. So it's unclear whether this is like a cultural thing, or if it's like the slime's ability, or whatever. I mean, slime itself, not as an interpreter. No water will stay them before die. So yeah, they call slime knowing water. Stay. So the slime. I guess this dragon is very near death, just like the other parent had died and they were eating it. And the slime comes when they're near death. Apparently, these dragons get older. They can't move around as much. Don't have many people to talk to. Slime serves as their final listener. Ooh, okay. So the slime can maybe hear the dragon better because of the way that it's just sort of like a membrane, so that these vibrations don't necessarily need to hit the necessary frequencies of anyone's eardrums. As long as the whole slime is vibrating, it can understand what's being said. Maybe? And then the slime is able to report to the younger dragon what's been happening. Much larger space. Where's the dragons already was stored? Ah, so this was the dragon they ate. Is that above this? They give him something. There's some stuff up on the ceiling. I don't know what these are. They look cute, though. Cute things on the ceiling, and a big bowl of stew. Sounds like a good time. I don't know what's going on, though. Quicklime and salt were used to process the hide and act as a disinfectant. Ah, okay, so they're processing the hide. Oh, this is the Minotaur earlier. This guy, like, really intimidated him earlier. He kind of, like, stomped his feet near him. Fine with seeing your parent get eaten by everyone. Seeing your parent get eaten by everyone. Dragon doesn't understand. So now he's asking people, how would you feel if everyone ate you when you died? Good. Good. Happy. You know, I would be fine with it. Sure. I don't think it's good to eat humans in general. Like, I think there's a lot of diseases you can get because of that, right? And I think someone who wants to eat a human definitely has some things going on. But for whatever reason, if somebody really wanted to do it, I wouldn't care. I'm dead. Who cares? It's related to some sort of religious belief in this world. Ooh, okay, that's quite interesting. This is something that they hadn't really broached at all. Religion. They had customs, they had ritualistic things that were mentioned before, but they were never actually tied into some sort of religious system of belief. They were just like done. Do you go to a good place when you're eaten? And then they respond, even though you're dead. So that, to me, really suggests that they do not have a religious conception of life after death. My parent was close to dying during the hot something. But since it's right before something something, it will all be used something. Okay, so they were worried that the parent was dying during the hot season, which maybe means that they wouldn't be able to treat their hide at the time. But now, because it's right before some sort of seasonal harvest or something, they're able to make good use of the hide. That's my guess. Maybe because it's getting colder. The dragon is happy that their parent can be used so efficiently. Does that make sense? Something like that? Night came, a large fire was built in the center of the village. Pot was brought out, and we think they were going to cook. Put all sorts of tools and cloth into it instead. Elf was playing one of their instruments. Ooh, I was able to take notes on different species' audible ranges based on who was listening. Clever! Clever, clever, clever. That's right, because I think I remember this. There's like this instrument the werewolves keep playing, but it's so high-pitched that he can't hear it. You need to have like dog ears to hear it. Harpy ignored. Werecat was listening. The orc, or whatever it is, was listening. And the lamia ignored. Good. Good to know. Eating, some people told stories about the deceased. Aww. Oh, wow. No, I think that's nice. It's surreal, like he says, but it's nice. Eating the dead. I wonder, did humans ever do that? Like, widespread? I feel like I would know if they did. I think the fact that I don't remember ever reading about anything like this as a common practice among many peoples means that it just wasn't done. But it does seem like... So I was actually thinking a lot earlier today about kind of the origin of religious thought and such. And there's a pretty compelling argument that it all started with like the hallucinated voices of the ancestors. That after someone dies, just as we know today, like that once you've been talking to someone for a long time, after you're separated from them, you can still sometimes hear their voice in your head, right? Especially if you're kind of like falling asleep or any sort of altered consciousness, that sort of thing kind of just repeats in your mind. So there's a lot of theories about like kind of early consciousness and hallucination and kind of the link between those things. And then also looking at like the various earliest forms of ritualistic cultural practice. One of the first things we see is respect for the dead, the way that the dead are treated, burial sites, and situations where the dead were buried sitting upright as if still alive, have led people to believe that for a while there was kind of a cult around ancestor worship, that after someone died, you kept hearing the voice inside their head, which made you think that they had gone on to some other place. So, okay, all right, that was a very, in a nutshell, summary of a very big and complex subject. If you find that stuff interesting, I really do too, so hopefully I'll get a chance to talk about it some more at some point. But I wonder, though, like, does it not sort of follow that if you... I don't know, like if you're happy with this idea that someone is kind of living on inside of your head, or living on in some sort of incorporeal form that can send things to your head, if that's something that you want to encourage, which seems to be the case, wouldn't you think like, oh, I'm gonna go even further. I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna take a big bite of him while he's still here, while he's still, you know, not just bones, and then I'll get his power. Or something, right? I don't know. That doesn't seem so unreasonable for early man. But I don't think it happened. I don't think anybody did it. I suppose it's like too inherently violent, maybe. You know, like, or maybe it's like too reductive and makes them, they thought like we can't lower them to the status of the animals that we hunt and eat. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. If you, will you eat me if I die? Oh, what? No, come on. Come on, you gotta, when in Rome, right? You gotta say yes. You already ate somebody's parent. You didn't feel too bad about it. Why not? Where I'm from, we don't eat good people. The ground eats them. They have no idea. Nice try to explain burials. It's a difficult thing to explain why people do it, what the significance is of. They think it's like some big animal. Strange. Yeah, okay. So they get it. They're not offended. They get that it's just a different culture. You eat me when I die, Sensei. She's so disappointed. She's not even gonna die before him. She's younger than him. Is he gonna mad at me like her? Ah, we're growing. We understand you're not something as us. Hmm. Interesting. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand why he won't eat her when she dies. uh, imagine having a kid mope because he didn't promise to eat them when they died. Ah, so this he does. He licks her because she's always licking him, and that's like a sign of affection among the werewolves. Nice. Well, that was a nice try. Is that why they lick each other? Because they know eventually they're going to eat each other? I don't know. I don't know. So, okay, I always thought there was something just like inherently bad in terms of disease with cannibalism. That it's like you shouldn't ingest your own proteins or something. Like, wasn't that a big thing with Mad Cow? That one of the reasons the Mad Cow broke out was because there was like additives in the cow feed that had cow in them or something. I don't know, but I never really thought about that before. I just kind of like, I mean, cannibalism is bad, right? We can all agree on that. And so when I thought I had read that there was some sort of major health reason too, I was like, all right, well that makes sense, I guess. I don't know. It was a very unexamined belief. Found that he reached the same conclusion as me. Ah, so he's reading his professor's notebook. I like all of these different guiding characters. Each one kind of gives him a different perspective and a different level of helpfulness. But everybody is always kind of leaving things out, too. I like that sort of mystery, you know? The mystery of sources. Really shocked himself at the time. Came to realize something else. I thought I truly understood. Was merely theorizing. The wall to understanding is unbelievably high. Tend to carry this realization with me as I move forward. Yes, it is. It's hard to truly feel like you understand someone. It's not worth giving up, though. So we never really found out why they were boiling all the tools and stuff, were they? Am I wrong? Did I just not notice? No, they just did it. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in the next chapter. What a great series. Oh, what a great series. This art, too. So fascinating. Such a realistic fantasy world, and yet just tinged with enough fantasy that you're really invested into it. So there's some bonuses, because I believe this is the last chapter of the volume, so we'll take a look at those too. The Federal first make it clear that you are not an enemy. Laid before them anything resembling a weapon. Set aside my bags. Very safe to leave my clothes on. Watch this play from a distance. Having confirmed that, spread out on the ground and show my front side to them. This, that's pretty sensible. The werewolves are somewhat dog-like, and this is what dogs do to show non-aggression and submission. Show them your belly. They began licking. All my bladed tools were taken away. Assuming they intended to keep themselves. Yeah, they probably thought it was like a gift. But whatever. Small price to pay for acceptance. So this is what the professor did. Our main guy did other stuff, of course. This is how similar their food and manners were to ours. And communicate with us. Intelligent, beautiful eyes. Is this the mother of the little girl that's traveling with him? Because they found out it's the professor's daughter. Oh no. But he got diarrhea. So whatever romance transpired across the species, it was not that night, I suppose. Okay. Okay. Let us look forward to more of this wonderful, wonderful series. I can't wait. Bye-bye.